MrBeast just dropped a new video where I compete in a big old game, but that's playing second fiddle to the drama it just spawned with me in the center of this singularity here. It sent Twitter into a piranha-feeding frenzy here, with me getting spaghettified in the middle of this black hole of drama. So, let's make like a package and address it. It's this clip right here.
What's up, bro?
Hey, nice
How are you,
to meet
dude? I like your videos, dude.
I appreciate it.
I know you've talked some shit, but...
Everybody hates Logan Paul. Is everyone around Logan just a fucking idiot?
I'm always super happy that people don't take it personally. Man.
I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
Thank God.
I understand I'm a and I appear to be a bro. So good to see you, bro.
And also, Prime's pretty fire.
Thanks,
I'm not
bro.
allowed to say it on camera.
I get it, bro. I get it, bro. Talk, bro.
Good luck today, all right?
Yeah, likewise, bro. Likewise.
People are already lining up with the pitchforks, lit torches, and spit out apple juice about how fake I am and how I folded in front of Logan Paul in person, cowering in fear, piddling my little britches. For some reason, the biggest part about that is what I said about Prime, which is like, oh, Charlie's super fake, he shits on Prime online, but in person, behind the scenes, with the mask off, he actually loves it. I'm not sure if this is people maliciously lying about me, like Pinocchio, or if they just genuinely don't know, or maybe heard something that was wrong, but I've never shit on Prime. I've actually only ever talked positively about it on stream or in videos. Me saying it's pretty fire, but I can't say it on camera is literally the simplest joke ever, like a water cooler joke at work. I've talked about it on camera numerous times. Anytime I've ever been asked about it or have made a video where it's been a subject, I've always mentioned that I actually think Prime's pretty good. Like, here's a quick example from a video I made a year ago when there was those like wakey wine scams or whatever about Prime. All just to get their hands on some Prime. I've had it before because in the States it's not rare, it's not hard to come by. I could walk outside right now and find like an unopened pallet of Prime. It's really just in the UK that this hysteria is sweeping the entire nation. It's going absolutely crazy there. So I've tried it, I think it's good, I have no complaints, but I certainly wouldn't be beating some ass and being that desperate to get my hands on a bottle. And I still wouldn't. You wouldn't catch me running around like a fucking Frankenstein's monster trying to hunt down a pallet of Prime, but it's good. And I've always said that on streams and in videos, so I don't know where this narrative is that I've shit on it publicly, but behind the scenes I'm actually like an addict injecting it into my veins or lying to Logan Paul about it. I've always consistently said I actually like Prime. I think it's pretty fire. So I don't know why that's something that's sticking. Like, I prefer gamer sups, obviously, but that doesn't mean every other drink that's a competitor is bad. It's not. But now let's get to that second part where Logan Paul's spiritual pressure sent me to the floor like it was right out of the Bleach anime, and I was just trembling in fear to confront him directly. So, this was filmed a month or so ago, a little over a month ago now. Since then, he is now apparently suing CoffeeZilla. Either Logan or someone on his team is suing CoffeeZilla, which is a massive fucking L. That is brain-dead activity for sure. But when this was filmed, that wasn't happening. What was happening was he was publicly trying to make amends with the victims of his CryptoZoo scam that he butt-fucked them all with, and as far as I know, he has been paying some people back, and at the time was still in the process of paying people back through whatever like program he set up for it. But there was none of this lawsuit going on, and one of the first things that he said was that he actually deserved all of the shit that he got for it, for all of the mistakes that he made. Ludwig was also there, someone else who was shit on Logan Paul, and Logan was saying something to a similar effect there as well, from what I recall. So at the time, he was in the process of trying to fix all the dog shit that he put innocent people through. And when I talked about this on stream and in the videos about CryptoZoo and what was going on with it with the updates, I had always said, as long as the victims are made whole again and they get their money back, that's a happy ending. But Logan is still a scumbag for ever doing it in the first place, which is something that he also said he deserved everything he got from doing that. So, I have always said as well that I never harbor hatred for someone who will actually change. There's nothing to gain with just holding a grudge forever. That's childish. If someone is actually willing to learn and grow from things, I'm more than willing to break bread with them. Logan Paul was very respectful of not only all the other competitors, but all of the staff at the event as well. So when he reached out to say hi, I was more than willing to be receptive and mature about the situation. He immediately opened up about all of the problems that he had caused and how regretful he was. So what would be the point in me getting there and just spitting on him if he's actually going to start being less of a piece of shit? That's the whole goal of calling someone out. So that way they can learn from it and not be that insufferable asshole anymore. Of course, fast forward to the current episode of Dragon Ball Z, and apparently he's suing CoffeeZilla, or someone on his team is, which brings me to that other statement that's floating around that video where I called everyone around Logan a fucking idiot. And that is super true, because I don't know who the fuck Logan Paul surrounds himself with, but it must be actual lobotomites, because I don't know who would sign off on Logan suing CoffeeZilla. But at the time, that wasn't happening. All that was happening was him seemingly actively trying to fix all of the things that he fucked in the face. Now, as for the not taking things personally statement, I've been very consistent with that from the very beginning. When I make a video about something, it's usually just for the sake of making jokes or being goofy about it, so I never really want whatever I'm talking about to be taken in a personal level or as anything like that. Though that does vary on a case-to-case basis depending on how serious the topic is, because I've absolutely crossed over the line in making things much more personal than they probably should. But usually I try and just keep it more surface stuff about why something is bad or whatever happened, whatever they did is fucking stupid or whatever. A great example is The Manny Show. I recently made 2 videos about The Manny Show's fraudulent copyright strikes, and The Manny Show just made a response video a couple days ago where they took full responsibility. They explained that they hired a monetization manager who kind of went rogue and started striking channels against The Manny Show's will. Once they learned about it, they immediately fired that person, and they just took it all on the chin, took full responsibility, and made no excuses whatsoever, and even addressed all the videos that were made about The Manny Show, saying that it was all warranted and that they understand that it came from a place of just trying to look out for the ecosystem. The Manny Show doesn't believe in censorship, and it was just a really good response overall. And The Manny Show didn't take it personally, even though what I was saying was very mean, for sure. Like, it definitely wasn't nice. I didn't exactly have the soccer boppers on. I was going fucking bare knuckle with some of the things I said about The Manny Show. They still didn't take it to a, like, personal offense or anything. Another great example is FaZe Rug. FaZe Rug was in this competition as well. FaZe Rug, I've also made a couple videos on making fun of. Absolutely. And FaZe Rug actually reached out like a year ago to talk about, like, you know, hey, I hope you don't hate me, Charlie. Like, I've watched your videos on me as well, and I want you to know, like, they actually made me laugh. And in person, FaZe Rug kept that same energy. He was a super nice guy who was talking about, like, yeah, that shit was kind of cringe, and the things you were saying made me giggle about it. And that's how I always want it to be when I make a video covering something where even the protagonist who I'm making jokes about can watch it and not be mad, but instead be entertained about it. And hopefully not walk away from it thinking that I have this burning hatred for them that will never go away. Now, in Logan Paul's case, it is a little bit different, because with the dead body situation as well as the CryptoZoo scam, I definitely did get far more personal than just like surface level jokes, talking about him being like an actual piece of shit, surrounded by sycophant pieces of shit as well, that just continue to enable horrible behavior. But at the end of the day, all of it was geared towards a goal. In the CryptoZoo scam, getting everyone paid back and explaining why it needs to be paid back and is a horrible thing. So Logan Paul taking that and letting it not be personal but instead constructive is the best case scenario there. Not just for me, but Ludwig and everyone else that's called Logan Paul out, which was like half of the fucking competition, by the way. So it's just, I don't see why this ended up being a huge drama thing, because all of it's consistent with all of the shit that I've said on stream for like the last 6 months with Logan Paul. Since CoffeeZilla's last update on Logan Paul and CryptoZoo with the refunds, like where's the refund and where's all the money, following that and talking about it, I have maintained that as long as people are paid back, that's what matters. And as far as I knew, there were measures being taken place that were getting people their money back. That's a good thing, and hopefully Logan Paul can learn from this and this kind of shit won't happen again. All of this should really be nothing new. Here's another quick example about me always being willing to talk to or at least engage with people that I have called out on a personal level. The Sneeko beef. The medium rare beef that I had with Sneeko that lasted for a while culminated with me actually getting in a call with Sneeko and talking, person to person, about all of this shit. Just hashing it out. Well, not face to face, because, I mean, obviously it's through the internet, it's the fucking cyberspace, it's not face to face, but it's the same thing. We directly talk to each other. So meeting Logan in person and him wanting to talk about this, I was more than willing to do, and he was very respectful, took full responsibility and accountability in person, so I was more than willing to be mature about this and talk to him as a human being. I don't see why in any circumstances this would be perceived as being two-faced. I did this most recently with Sneeko. Before him, it was that person that was calling me deep state, new world order chill or whatever. Brought him on the podcast to talk it all out. Like, it's something I've always done and always will be willing to do. I think it's very childish to just plug your ears and say, boo, 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 not listening to you, whatever, and not engage with someone that you have an issue with. And again, this was filmed over a month ago when I wasn't privy to any new dogshit behavior from Logan. This lawsuit with Confronts is new. So I couldn't call him out on it or anything like that. So I don't know what else to tell you other than this isn't anything new. I've always been more than willing to talk to and be mature with people that I have called out and had grievances with in the past, as long as they are willing to engage with me and be mature about it as well. And Logan was. So yeah, overall, great MrBeast video. I lost and also got thrown into a ton of drama, so that was pretty fire. That's about it. See ya. I don't want to give anyone a heart attack here with shocking information, jump scares, so this is your fair warning. Cold water is coming your way. I am not a survivalist. There. I said it. It's out in the open. Let that stew marinate in it a little bit. I could not survive in the wild no matter what. If I was born 400 years ago, I wouldn't have lived to see my 10th birthday. I would have probably died in the jungle from being mauled by an animal or starving to death. And the most embarrassing part of starving to death for me would have been I probably would have collapsed, keeled over, died right in front of a ton of edible berries that were completely safe for consumption, but I'm too much of a hypochondriac to have even tried. But even knowing all of my shortcomings here, and also knowing I'm short, I'm not a pussy. So when MrBeast issued a challenge to me to survive in his wilderness for 24 hours, with a smile on my face, I said, you bet your sweet bippy I'm gonna be able to do that. That should be pretty easy. That's child's play. 24 hours, I won't even die of starvation, and I brought a bunch of water. So, bare minimum, I'll at least be alive. Maybe not in the best condition, but I would have survived, I would think.
What's up, guys? I'm Moist Critical, and you're watching a 24-hour camping challenge.
Yep, we're gonna be sitting here for 24 hours.
He's gonna be sitting here with his friends.
So MrBeast posted a video a month ago where he had two strangers live in the forest on his property, and every day that they survived, they got $10,000. They ended up making it over 70 days and made a ton of money from it. And when watching the video, I thought it looked pretty manageable. Like, I'm not great with my hands other than a nice, beautiful three-point basketball shot, but I still thought I could definitely do that, especially because I wasn't doing it alone. I still had all my friends with me. So I was ready to get my hands dirty. Me and the whole squad here were pretty eager to do this, and we even wanted to do a little cryptid hunting on his property because North Carolina has, like, some beautiful cryptids, apparently, like the Boojum, apparently, which is a cryptid, like a really giant hairy thing, kind of like Sasquatch, but with a fascination for precious metals and women, apparently. So I was like, that's awesome. We can catch the Boojum while camping out on his property, drinking brewskis, because it's going to be easy.
See you at the 24-hour mark. Need anything?
Nope.
Good.
Bye,
If you
Jimmy.
die, am I liable?
Nope.
All right, what if someone broke a leg?
No, that's fine. We have coverage. You're good.
Okay.
You're so good for
Well,
lending
then
us.
with that, have fun, boys.
Bye. I don't ever want to go back to civilization.
So good. This is like we're
here?
playing Minecraft.
Yeah, no,
it's easy.
This is like Rust. I played Rust.
All right,
We're camping.
Yeah, so we're camping. We got a checklist to go through.
Turns out it's not easy at all. So the whole video of this experience is on the other channel. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to see the whole thing. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights, if that's the word you can use for it. It's really kind of lowlights, because from the very beginning, we couldn't do a single fucking thing correctly. So it's not just me being incompetent in survivalism. It was everyone. We take life for granted. If we didn't have houses, I feel like at least 60% of the population would die off within a month, because surviving in the wilderness is not easy, especially on MrBeast's property. When I watched that video, I also expected that the forest that they were in, the wilderness, was like heavily catered to be safe, you know, like no bears, nothing dangerous or anything. I thought it was like really bougie and, you know, it wasn't that difficult. Well, it turns out it's just fucking God's country out there. It is actually just untouched jungle. So we were surrounded by coyotes, an unbelievable amount of other wildlife and insect, all kinds of dangerous shit all over the place. It was so fucking hard.
How's he doing?
That's some big wood.
That is some big wood.
That's some big wood, and he's making a smaller wood exactly like we need. Charlie, do you think you're the best camper?
Yep.
All right.
Don't let my appearance deceive you. I know I may look like a vampire lumberjack, especially in that beautiful attire, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I know how to chop wood. In fact, fun fact, I actually practice wood chopping motions by using a sledgehammer on a tire just for cardio. I actually really like hitting a tire with a sledgehammer because I think it's great cardio. But unfortunately, we didn't have the classic meaty axe. Instead, we just had this little one-handed hatchet here that's just like a little fucking toy. When Roanoke settlers disappeared, following their trajectory, they would have landed right here in these woods. Huh. They could still be out here.
So look out for little eyes peeping back at you when you're looking in the woods.
This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. In big city living, sometimes you forget where we came from. It's good to go back.
And sometimes, you know, it gets so bright out there you can't see the stars.
Yep. You can see them today, though.
Yep, look at them up there.
Yeah, chemtrails.
You get them all?
Mm-hmm.
Show them one more time.
Good thing we're about to get the fire going.
We want a stick.
You're doing pretty good for a man who's never made a bow drill.
I think you've got it.
The fact that we can't even do it with a flint and steel makes me think we're never going to do it with wood.
Yeah, no, for sure, never.
Yeah, but I watched a tutorial on how to do it with wood, so we'll get it.
We need way fluffier tinder than this.
Well, who's on shrubbery duty? I think you are now.
What the fuck?
It wants to light. It told me. It said, please.
It's starting to smoke.
You have spark with no fire? Well, that's what men do.
Sunlight soon.
Oh, that was so good.
Whoa.
You got it, Danny.
Magic hands.
You got it. You got it.
Magic hands.
Hot hands, Danny.
Danny can do anything.
2 hours later.
I think you get in the next 10.
I think so too.
I've been thinking that for a long time.
7.
You got this, brother.
6.
Oh, there's smoke. 3, 2, there it is.
This is the one. Oh.
We went through the whole tech tree on how to make a fire there. So we initially started with just hands and stick. Chase gave that one a whirl. That wasn't getting us very far. We then had Matt working on a bow drill, which that never even came close. Caleb then started working on a bow drill. That got a little smoke for a second. We then went to flint and steel. Still couldn't get the flint and steel to work, which is probably the most shameful thing imaginable. But the problem was all of the sticks, all of the things we were using to try and catch fire were kind of damp because it must have rained a little before we got there or something because everything was still kind of damp. So it wasn't lighting. So we started trying to put like paper on it and other things that were flammable. Like, as I was fucking firebending with the flint and steel, nothing would ignite. Danny sat there for, like, actually 30 minutes straight, just constantly shooting flames at it, like a goddamn Charmander. Still, nothing was catching fire. So eventually what I did is I just ripped the sleeve off of my flannel, threw it on there, and had Danny light that, which finally worked.
Yeah. Now the shirt, now the shirt.
That counts.
Wait, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow.
Yeah,
Don't blow,
let it,
don't
just
blow
let it, just
anymore,
let
don't
it.
blow anymore. Okay.
Wait, you're smothering it.
No, 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 I'm getting the pininess above it. Danny!
Good work, Danny. There he is. The man who brought fire to us, Prometheus.
You cannot see me.
Can't see you, can't see you.
We need to feed it a lot of fire because it'll burn out really quick.
Literally everyone that did something.
Hey, and don't forget Charlie's shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is hot.
Of course I've got a
Success, Charles. Now we can start making chairs.
Yep, alright. Where's my axe?
It's so funny in Minecraft it takes like way less time.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's our snow thing?
I've been mining this whole time.
Yo, let me go find what that noise is. I'll make an XP farm for us.
Remember that time that Danny worked himself to the bone to give us this beautiful fire? Yeah, now we just need furniture.
We do need furniture. Those are so
bright. Getting hit by like 5 stadium lights.
People watching my Chef Boy RV.
Mine's off. That was cool. You pinched myself in it.
Charlie, how are the chairs coming?
Alright,
Well, I can't see anymore. What I didn't factor into the equation is just how dark it gets when there's not street lights. Like, that goes without saying, obviously, but you never really experience pitch black darkness in, like, city living. Like, you really don't. There's always at least something giving some kind of light somewhere. Out there, you can't see your hand in front of your face if you're not right in front of the fire or have a light source. So it became almost impossible for me to even try and make little seats, which I don't know why I thought I had the ability to do that. There were some big logs there. What I was going to do is just chop through them to make kind of like a flat surface out of them to set down. But when it became that dark, that no longer became a possibility unless I did it like on top of the fire and like burnt myself, just singed my skin for it. So it wasn't worth the effort anymore. What we ended up doing is just rolling over some big logs and using that to sit on, or using like coolers that we had brought.
What are we actually doing out here, Charlie?
We're hunting the boojum.
Sometimes
The boojum.
Now, initially, I imagined this going much smoother. I didn't think the fire would take over 2.5 hours to start. I also didn't factor in how hungry everyone was, so it ended up just eating a bunch of hot dogs around the fire for like another hour or so. But the idea was to kind of take a page out of the Mountain Monsters playbook, or not Mountain Monsters, what the fuck is the name of that show? Mountain Men, Mountain Monster Men, the group of people that go out and hunt cryptids in the forest, and they use all kinds of whatchamahoozits to try and catch them. So we brought a bunch of like cryptid hunting gear, as well as even like paranormal ghost hunting gear, like EMF readers and fucking spirit boxes, if the boojum wanted to communicate through the radio, I suppose. But what ended up happening is we took so long with everything else, we didn't get a lot of quality time cryptid hunting. I don't want to spoil how the video ends, so you can go see the full thing on the other channel. Again, there's a link to it in the description if you want to see what this cliffhanger is here that I'm leaving you on. But I swear to God, it doesn't do it justice just how perilous the situation was at the time. So, I don't want anyone to think that we're cowards for how the video ends. It really was actually not safe, I don't think. Anyway, we didn't catch the boojum. We never even came close. Our cryptid hunt only lasted maybe like 10 or so minutes before things just got out of hand. So, anyway, I just want to talk about this a little bit and just give strong appreciation for the two guys in that MrBeast video that made it 70 days out there. Granted, they didn't stay in the location we stayed at for the whole time. They did move, and I think that was probably for the best, because where we were at fucking sucked. Like, we constantly were hearing coyotes. There was just nothing to even, like, grab that you don't have to, like, hike through a swamp for. It was miserable. We ended up using their hand-me-downs for a lot of, like, the materials. Like, a lot of the wood we were using was some of the wood that they were using back in the video. So we ended up just, like, reusing some of their shit. We even grabbed their fishing lines to try and fish. So, like, we found, this thing of wood they made with fishing hooks on it. We used that to try and catch things as well, to no avail. Like, it cannot be understated just how impressive what they did is. Especially now after we tried to experience it as well. It's fucking brutal. Anyway, though, just want to talk about this a little bit. MrBeast almost got us killed. Also, when I ripped that sleeve off of my shirt, my left arm ended up getting eaten, just absolutely fucking feasted upon by every bug in North Carolina. I hated that. That was awful. That's about it. So yeah. What did EDP do this time? Brother, what do you think? Like, come on. Be real. Here. We'll start there. We'll start with the EDP stuff. Thanks, Jordan. So, they haven't released the footage yet, but JiDion is alluding to catching EDP in another sting, and he showed up in the cupcake costume, obviously. So it's looking like EDP is still preying on children, or at least attempting to. So this just happened, what, 6 hours ago or something like that? I can't wait for this video. Maybe this will finally be enough evidence, assuming that it really is him going here under the assumption that he's meeting a minor. Hopefully that'll finally be enough evidence for the authorities to take it seriously. Trying to become a member but cannot find it. It's a button that says join somewhere. I don't know where, to be honest with you. It's fake. There is a good chance that it is. When Jackson initially sent it to me, I said that it's probably all just a big meme. But from what everyone's posting on Twitter, it's seeming like it's not a meme. And that JiDion really did catch him again. So there's a video. I think it's in the article somewhere down here. Is it this?
It's not a fucking joke, man. I'm just seldom at a loss for words. You know, 2 years ago you were caught kiss my ass in 4K trying to meet a 13-year-old. Really,
I'm not talking to you. He's talking to
really,
you.
my nigga, this is bullshit, man. That y'all pulling right now.
Yeah, so that would be a weird meme. That seems pretty real. There's not a lot of people that would willingly do that. Especially given his history. Welcome aboard, Rozu. Appreciate it, Jordan. And yeah, I saw. And no, I don't know what that is, strategist. Welcome aboard, sister. Yeah, the full video hasn't dropped or anything. He's got that snippet. But it definitely doesn't seem staged. You'd have to be a real fucking idiot to agree to once again be portrayed as a pedophile. I'm using portrayed super lightly because the guy is a pedophile. Like, the evidence is overwhelming. So I don't think it's a joke. Holy shit. Oh my god. Well, that was super sweet. Appreciate that, XRC. Thanks for the long time of watching. God damn. What a fucking fat drop. Thank you for that. And I hope you're doing well. Just got out of JiDion's stream. There's already a court date, and he's on an FBI watch list for other reasons, gun-related. Wait, what? That has to be brand new, then. He did say it on a live stream. Welcome aboard, Husk. Apparently Punk tried to run up on Tony after squaring up with Jack Perry, so TK had to get rid of him. Yeah, we can talk about the Punk stuff in just a little bit. I kept up with most of it. Yeah, I saw. Jesus. Welcome aboard, Caleb and Jose. No, not too much, Jason. Just started. Do you think EDP could ever be rehabilitated? This is like his fucking 4th time. No, man. He's a predator. He can't be saved. Like, people forget, the cupcake incident wasn't his first time doing that either. It was just his first time getting caught with enough evidence that everyone saw it. And then he did it again, like, a year ago. Probably not even a year ago. And now this. Welcome aboard, Chad. And Chick. I like sports. Basketball is my favorite one. True, Salmon. That was wholesome. Thanks, Juice. Yeah, we're going to talk about Vince Vintage and all of that as well. Like I said, there is a lot that's gone on over the last 24 hours. We'll get to all of it. Welcome aboard, Zach. Appreciate it, Zeph. What's your basketball team? You talking about for the $1 million tournament? We haven't formed the team yet because it's not time. Welcome aboard, Keith. And hey, Hyperion. The video's not out yet. We don't know exactly everything that went on here, but from the clip that's posted and what he's wearing and EDP's reaction, it seems pretty not good for EDP. It seems like another case of preying on minors. Welcome aboard, Lincoln. That was wholesome. Thanks, Laikumi. He said the video's going to come out sometime this month. Well, I'll be waiting. So that's the EDP update. Welcome aboard, Ark. And Stiegel. Appreciate it, user. Hi, Rocky. I heard about the MrBeast stuff. I saw all of it unfold in real time last night. Yeah. There were two different MrBeast things. That was a rough evening for MrBeast on Twitter last night. Shit was getting crazy. How is this man not in jail? Because the investigations were conducted by YouTubers, not working in collaboration with law enforcement, so they don't take him seriously and they get off on technicality. Or, sorry, they don't... It's not like he got off on technicality, they just didn't pursue it because the investigation was done by a less than professional team. Which is why To Catch a Predator always worked with law enforcement. Thanks for the gifted member, Mikey, and welcome Madison, Snow, and Panda. No one likes Twitter. Twitter is trash. We all know this. It's not a hot take, and it's not exactly brave. No one's gonna sit there and, like, applaud me, like, hey, Charlie's really finally saying what everyone else is too afraid to say. No. Everyone knows Twitter is probably the worst social media platform to ever exist. The more you engage with Twitter, the more likely you are to throw yourself into an oncoming train. But just like everyone else, I become a little zombie and check Twitter every now and then just to scroll through and see what's going on in the world and the people around me, what's going on with all of them. Twitter's a lot like my asshole. It's stinky and full of shit, but I can't help but play with it sometimes. And this morning I got up and I checked Twitter, and something just immediately made my day worse for having read it. Twitter is the real-life equivalent of the chapter black tape from Yu Yu Hakusho. This is an obscure, turbo weeb shit reference, but in Yu Yu Hakusho, there's something called the chapter black tape, which is just a collection of all of humanity's most horrifying moments. Just this phase montage of, like, war crimes and horrible, horrible shit. And when someone watches that tape, they begin to hate humanity and are convinced that they're not worth saving, that humanity doesn't deserve to survive. That's what Twitter is. But instead of, like, showing you horrifying crimes, it shows you horrifying takes and convinces you that the world is too stupid and humanity's not worth saving because we're too fucking dumb. This is the tweet that really greased my ass first thing this morning that I want to talk about. Hot take, but I feel once you've reached this level of wealth, maybe you should be using said wealth to benefit the impoverished and not use it to recreate a show that is a direct critique of the exact thing being done here, but hey, that's just me. This is in reference to MrBeast and his upcoming Squid Game video. This is not a hot take, this is a dumb take. This is what scientists call posting cringe on main. This is a stupid fucking statement. Squid Game, the actual show, cost $21.4 million to make. That money could have been used to help the impoverished in the community, but it wasn't. It was used for entertainment. Interesting. It decides to critique society while also participating in it. Very curious. It's critiquing something that it is directly benefiting from. Interesting. Why didn't they point that out in this tweet? The $21 million for Squid Game, the show, is a lot more than the $2 million MrBeast is spending. Why didn't they mention that? It's weird that they focused on MrBeast, who is well known for helping a lot of people through his videos and the money those videos make. What's interesting is, the Squid Game money and all that that's generated for Netflix will never go to helping people, but MrBeast making this Squid Game video and the money that will make will directly go to food banks that MrBeast owns and helps people with. So they chose someone who is literally going to be helping people with the money the Squid Game makes, instead of the Squid Game itself, which was 10 times what MrBeast spent and will never help anyone in the community. And I'm not saying the Squid Game team has that obligation and they have to use the money in that way. I'm not here to control how they spend their money, but Twitter certainly is. This user seems to think it's MrBeast's responsibility to use his wealth in the Squid Game cost to help the community around him, but why isn't that responsibility also shared by the much more expensive actual Squid Game? It's also just a dumb nothing burger of a statement that can be used for literally anything ever. It boils down to MrBeast spent a lot of money on this video, which could have been used as a donation. You can say that for movies. Why do we even have movies when the money spent making those movies could have been used for a donation instead? Why do we have music when the millions spent producing those albums could have been used as a donation instead? The user that posted this might be married. Why did you spend $10,000 on a wedding ring when that could have been used as a donation instead? You don't need a $10,000 rock to prove you love someone. Why not just donate that money? It's just something that is silly and can be said for everything. Targeted at one of the only wealthy people in general who are constantly helping the community and people around him. I made a video recently talking about MrBeast. I'm not his fucking PR manager, but he's one of the only genuine wealthy people that are constantly doing everything they can to help other people. You only have to scroll 3 tweets on his Twitter to see this massive food drive he just did to help the impoverished and people around him. But I'm going to go ahead and again focus on the stuff he does off camera real quick, because a lot of people critique MrBeast saying he's only doing this for attention and views. They can't wrap their head around the idea that maybe he actually just likes to help people, so they just try and attack this made up idea of who he is. He's only doing it for views and attention. I'm again going to focus on his off camera stuff. I got to see that massive food warehouse, and that food warehouse also has a massive refrigeration unit that allows them to do more than just non-perishable canned goods. It allows them to do vegetables and cold products as well, and it's an extremely rare thing to have because it costs so much. But MrBeast went the extra mile with his food bank because he wanted it to be able to serve his community in the best possible way. And this is like a full-time job that he has, running that food bank. He also has that MrBeast's philanthropy channel. I sound like a fucking advertisement for this guy, but I really suck his dick hard because he is exactly the kind of wealthy person people have been begging for, and he's still getting shit for it. That MrBeast philanthropy channel, 100% of the revenue that makes and the brand deals all go into that food bank, which is serving his community. He is doing like millions of pounds worth of food to his community every month, and he is running this every single day, and he is still getting steamrolled by 12-year-olds on Twitter as if he's not doing enough. All of this being done off camera, and no matter what, it's a lose-lose situation on Twitter. If MrBeast shows these things, then people attack him for being a fake, he's a fraud, he's only doing it for attention and views, and if he doesn't show these things, well then they don't exist and everyone's lying, he's making it up. No matter what you do on Twitter, it is a lose-lose situation where no one will be pleased. Twitter's a platform that is only there to be negative, bully, and shit on things no matter what, because that's the most engagement. That huge fucking dopamine hit of the extra 5 hearts on your shit just makes that cock rock hard, baby. That's what makes me so mad on Twitter, is that no matter what you do, it's never enough, because Twitter's a platform that is just made to reward shitty takes and dunking on people, even when it's just completely wrong and misguided. People are just there on Twitter to bully each other, and they try and like out-perfect each other. So they use this idea of perfection, like in this take. If I had this millions of dollars, I would obviously be donating it to the impoverished, but I don't, so I'm not responsible to help anyone. It's MrBeast's problem, time to dunk on him. Now let me spread these cheeks a little bit further and dive in. The user who posted this awful take has 16,000 tweets on their account. That's a lot. I have like 300 hours total on Twitter scrolling, and I only have 2,500 tweets. So let's just go ahead and be really generous and say they have doubled the amount of time I've spent on Twitter. So they have 600 hours worth of Twitter scrolling. There's so much more you can do to help the community than just donate money. You could have spent that 600 hours volunteering at a shelter, helping out at your local food bank. You know, you could have donated your time to helping your community, but you didn't. You chose to whine and complain on Twitter for 600 hours. Why is it only MrBeast's responsibility to help the community? Don't you also have that obligation? You're choosing not to, and I'm very disappointed. You're taking this road, and it's not just this person. I'm singling them out because this is the tweet that really, it tilted me a bit. It had me fucking inting down mid lane. Like, it was actually pretty upsetting to read. Everyone wants a wealthy person who's extremely generous to the community and doing things to help the community. And we have that with MrBeast, and he is still getting shit for it. Blows my mind. But anyway, this user is not the only one that thinks this way. They all cast this facade that they are perfect. And if they were only rich, they would save humanity. But the thing is, they're not doing anything currently to show that. This user, who is getting upset at MrBeast for not doing enough, is also doing nothing. Even though there is so much more they can do than just donating money. Like I said, there is so much you can do that isn't just financial to help the community. And they're not doing it. So why the fuck are they going to get mad at MrBeast, who is doing both time and money constantly for the community? He is not just blindly throwing money at charities that do nothing. He is making his own organizations that are extremely efficient at it. Like, what more could you possibly want? He is doing it full time, off camera, because he is genuinely just trying to help people. And he is still getting blasted on Twitter because he spent a lot of money on a Squid Game video, where the money from that Squid Game video will most likely directly go into his philanthropy, which will in turn help a lot of people, and still getting shit for it. Twitter is a platform that just keeps you stupid and makes you dumber every time you log on to it. Everything has to be negative, even when it's like a genuinely positive situation, for no fucking reason other than just some cheap engagement and internet updoots. This was a horrible take, and so many people retweeted it, commented on it like, yes, preach, this is what I've been saying, just donate the money instead of make a video out of it, come on. Like, it doesn't make any sense. They could say that for everything. Instead of making movies, why not just donate all the money that the movies would have cost? There's a pretty big brain idea. Why not just do that? Why don't musical artists just donate all of the money their concerts make to charitable organizations instead of spending money on terrible art to put in their home? That's a genuinely good question. The art that they buy is terrible. You might as well just get rid of that money instead of spend it on fucking Damien Hirst pieces. Point is, it's a stupid take. Like, this was a dumb tweet that a lot of people agree with, and I see this kind of thing all the time. And it's especially silly when it targets someone who is actually doing all of the things Twitter wishes people would do. MrBeast does everything that Twitter wants other rich people to do, and it's still not good enough for them. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because Twitter is and always will be and always has been an absolute dog shit platform. That's about it. So yeah.
Yesterday, Ava Kris Tyson of the MrBeast crew had a ton of evidence surface about horrible behavior with how they communicated with minors, as well as a past of really disgusting shit. A lot of people are calling the Season 7 writers of 2024 internet drama lazy because they're reusing a similar plotline. A lot of people drew comparisons to Dr. Disrespect recently being outed for talking inappropriately to a minor. There are tons of screenshots to showcase exactly what was being said to someone who was between 13 and 14 years old at the time, and it's fucking gross. It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So, Ava Tyson was an adult at this point. Lava was a child. And saying things like, I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share, and then other shit like, but not $5 pathetic JK kissy face, they seem to communicate a lot, even sending Snapchats. So here's one that says, coming for America, and then goes on to talk about being in a group chat and everything. And I've seen a lot of people try and cope and deflect saying like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever. Edgy jokes between an adult and a child are still fucking gross. That's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is. Under no circumstances should an adult be in a group chat with a bunch of children sending coming for America pictures. Like, that's still bad. That's still horrible. That's still really fucking weird. From what I can tell, most of the screenshots and a lot of the compiled evidence comes from this YouTuber, Prism42. This seems to be where most of it started, and since this video dropped, there's been a lot more screenshots that have come out with all kinds of really bad things that were being said to or about minors. I've only shown a couple here, but there's quite a bit more, and they're all just as bad, if not worse. Like, for some reason, Ava Tyson had a habit of calling a 13 or 14-year-old daddy. Like, you can't just write that off as being, like, quirky, inappropriate, edgy jokes that people are blowing out of proportion. That's unacceptable. It's indefensible. Now, the 13, 14-year-old in question for a lot of these messages is someone that has come forward to give their own accounts of the situation, and according to them, they don't believe that they were groomed or anything bad was done on the part of Ava Tyson or anything like that. And I'll just go ahead and give my take on it here. I talked about it on stream, and I'm not trying to be some kind of armchair psychologist because I'm just, at the end of the day, a little reptile brain idiot. But I really do feel like in a situation like this, it's very difficult to process just how inappropriate or unacceptable something was when you lived it. I imagine that it's very difficult to view this as the person that you communicated to so closely for so long was actually evil or doing things that were wrong. But in reality, no child should have this kind of relationship with an adult where you're joking about sending nudes to a minor or making edgy jokes about coming for America. So while the person here might not feel like a victim, it really is completely unacceptable that Ava Tyson would be communicating with them like this. It really is, no matter how it's spun. Now, it is important to mention that right now, most of the evidence is screenshots, so I guess there is the chance that some could be faked, but some of them seem very hard to fake, like there's a video going through a Snapchat conversation with Ava. There's also confirmed things that were publicly tweeted from their account over the years, which I'll get to now. And it was also revealed that Ava Tyson had a history of being a Shadman enthusiast. Since all of the tweets have been deleted, it makes it very difficult to find the times that they communicated with Shadman or talked about Shadman and the art, but I did find this from Mudahar's video, who went to the Wayback Machine and showcased this tweet. And Mudahar censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18. For those of you that know that name, that might have just triggered a Winter Soldier moment in your brain with your eyes rolling into the back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was an artist who drew child porn. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking about lolly or lolly hentai type shit, which is characters that look like little girls but are actually 5,000-year-old vampires. Like, that's the meme. Fucking sipping from their Mountain Dew going, uncultured swine. You see, it's not actually a real child. This is a victimless crime. This may look like a 4-year-old girl, but you don't understand the lore. She's actually coming from a sophisticated line of goblin ogres, and she is over 400 years old. So it's completely legal, and you're weird for thinking that it's weird. But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing real children sexually. So one of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything. That is something that actually happened. And you know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly. Like, a lot of people defended that. Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar, who cares? Doesn't matter, he deserves it anyway. Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next?" He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment. So anyway, Ava Tyson has publicly tweeted about lolly, and in particular, there are tweets of Ava Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked, but there are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman, or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman. There's a clip from a MrBeast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall, belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons, but this is something that is irrefutable. The only question about Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson. And I don't think there's any wiggle room to just explain this away as some kind of innocent whoops-a-daisy moment of being ignorant of what the art was. With Ava Tyson having publicly talked about content and art like that, and then also owning a Shadman piece, I don't think it's some kind of coincidence. Like, I don't think it was an accident and they didn't know Shadman drew child porn. I really don't. And then yet another disturbing video surfaced where they had actually made a video a long time ago that linked to revenge porn of Jeanette McCurdy.
The story is she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. And but the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that you know, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
That's crazy. That's astonishing. Sharing revenge porn publicly and trying to spin it like, well, some people might want to see this, so for you degenerates, I've posted the link in the description. If you want to check that out. But you'd be weird to do that, and I'm not endorsing it. That's unhinged. Completely unhinged. So all of this started to hit the mainstream. More and more people started sharing screenshots as well as other chat logs, all kinds of things with a history of communicating inappropriately with or about minors. And in response, a couple hours ago, Ava Tyson did make a statement, and this is what was said. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. That is kind of a textbook non-apology. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like this blanket boilerplate statement about stepping away. There's no denial of anything, no claims that some of the information is false, made up, fabricated, a lie, a fib, a bunch of malarkey, nothing at all. You would really think that if any of the information was wrong or faked, that would be one of the first things that Ava Tyson would want to set the record straight on. But that didn't happen. Even if it was something like needing more time, I really feel like that would have been expressed in the statement, saying, need more time to talk about all of these things that are incorrect. But again, that's not there. So they're assumed to be all correct at this point, and they're indefensible, the things that have come out here. As I was rendering this video, Ava Tyson dropped more tweets claiming that no one was ever groomed, and then states that the victim vocally supported that that's false. I again, already told you my feelings on that. I really don't think a child who has this kind of relationship with an adult would ever really recognize just how inappropriate it was because it became so normalized to them, which it never should be. It's a horrible thing, and there really is no excusing it in my eyes. Going further, there's an apology about unacceptable social media posts and then saying that it was edgy jokes and that it was unacceptable humor, that it's like a thing of the past and it's been misconstrued into things that didn't happen, and then not wanting the accusations to impact hundreds of people who work at MrBeast, which is why Ava Tyson has stepped away. I just don't think you can write off a lot of those social media posts as edgy jokes or edgy humor when you actually owned art from an artist who draws child porn. That's not a joke anymore. Haha, bought some child porn art. Like, that's not exactly side-splitting comedy. Like, I don't really think you can just go ahead and hand wave that as being edgy and like old humor that you've grown from. And then some of the tweets about it and like requests, what's the joke? Like, what's the punchline of that? I really don't think you can just say, oh, it's just edgy jokes that are blown out of proportion. Sorry if people are offended by it. Like, that just doesn't really work to me. As of right now, there's been no response from MrBeast or anyone else on the team about all of this. So it remains to be seen whether or not Jimmy or anyone else on the team knew about these things or what's going on there. But as of me making this video, there's still no response yet. So this whole situation is obviously horrible. And there's a little bit more I want to talk about here, and it's something I didn't even think I'd ever need to talk about, but I guess we've reached this point in the internet where this is necessary. I've been being attacked on Twitter, just fucking dogpiled, about my ignoring the situation and refusing to speak on it, being too much of a coward to talk about all this, which is crazy to me. And then people saying like, oh, where was the same energy for where was the same energy that you had for Dr. Disrespect here? And it's crazy that I even have to talk about this. So last night during stream, this story was still breaking. Things were still coming out about this story. And I talked about it on stream last night. The same day all of these pieces of evidence were surfacing. I talked about it immediately. Once I became aware of what the evidence was out there and what the claims were and what was going on, I was talking about it right away. And I even posted a video that is highly edited and short, nice and concise, about the whole bare bones of the situation and my thoughts on it for the second channel, so that way even if you have the biggest brain rot and can't focus on a video for long, you can still finish that whole video and see just how bad this whole Ava Tyson situation is. So I talked about it immediately, but Twitter didn't see that video, and the ones that did wrote it off as, oh, he's only going to put this on his second channel because he's afraid to put it on his main channel. He didn't do that for Dr. Disrespect. He was like that with Dr. Disrespect. You are provably wrong. All you had to do was activate a few fucking neurons in your noodle. Check my Dr. Disrespect video. I posted it at, I think it was 9 p.m. on June 22nd. June 22nd is when my Dr. Disrespect video went up. The allegation against Dr. Disrespect was on June 21st. So what happened is, that allegation came out. I talked about it on stream. Dr. Disrespect made a statement as well the same day that I talked about on stream. Then the following day, almost a full 24 hours later, I made the video talking about it. And in this situation, it is the exact same timeline. I was talking about it as everything was unfolding. I even had a video go up on the second channel going over everything that was coming out, and now I'm making the full video about it 24 hours later. It's the exact same speed and same energy as the Dr. Disrespect situation. And the main person who started this lightning rod of accusations about me ducking it and refusing to address it is fucking Sneeko of all people.
Yo, look out, Moist Critical is not gonna go talk about the Kris situation because he wants to have the MrBeast collab. Bro, you're gonna talk about every other trending situation, Dr. Disrespect, Sneeko, anything that goes viral goes on your main channel. Kris, the associate of the biggest YouTube channel in the world, you do a 4-minute clip on your second channel. Stop coping and be a journalist if you're gonna be a journalist, or just say that you wanna have the collab. Stop lying.
Jesus Christ, the fucking drool there is gonna drive me insane. I need to go put on the fucking bathrobe here and give him PTSD or something. What do you mean it is a 4-minute clip? Because I did that so people like you who don't pay attention long enough could see my take on it and also get the bare bones information of what makes it so horrible. That's the reason it's a 4-minute clip on the second channel. It was never going to be the only video I made talking about it. I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. So yes, you're right. I do talk about like big trending bad shit like Dr. Disrespect or like Cody Ko most recently. I don't know why people thought I wouldn't talk about this. I knew Cody Ko far more than I knew Ava Tyson. I talked to Cody Ko at length one time on his podcast and then one other time in DMs. Ava Tyson, I met 1.5 times. I first met them after a poker game with MrBeast. They showed up right at the end, right before I left. And then at the most recent MrBeast video, also right when I got out, Ava Tyson showed up and I talked to them for a couple of minutes. But I never knew Ava Tyson very well. Cody Ko I did, and I still wasn't afraid to talk about how awful his shit was. So I've never been someone to fucking shy away from a bad situation like this just because I know or am familiar with the person that it's about. So I don't know why people thought that that would be the case here. And also, for the millionth fucking time, I'm not a journalist. I'm like the Z-tier stupid journalist, like this actual layman fucking CTE-riddled idiot that reports on stories, and I talk about them usually to make jokes about them. In rare cases, and recently it's been very common, there's serious stories that I am very passionate about delivering and talking about how shitty they are. So, like, in a situation like this, yeah, this isn't really a story that I joke a lot about because it is serious. When there is a victim who is a child here, that's something to take seriously. But I'm not a fucking journalist. Most of the shit I talk about is the most inconsequential mumbo-jumbo ever, like aliens in warp drives, or that recent story about how scientists discovered hippos can fly because they get airborne for a split second, literally like 1/2 of a frame. They're able to get all 4 little legs off the ground. And I talk about those stories and joke about them. It's just talking about shit to joke about it for the most part, except in cases like this, where it is a serious story that I talk about. Now, Sneeko, I hope you're ready for the cold water here, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. When this story broke, I thought for sure, I would have actually bet money that you would have been some kind of contrarian talking about how this is actually not a big deal and everyone who's pretending to be outraged about it is actually just a hypocrite. Because you have been on this crusade for a while now about not agreeing with the age of consent. So I really thought you'd be talking about how, oh, this is just like Dr. Disrespect, who you ran hard defense for with this imaginary 17-year-old you cooked up in your head based off of one fake email from an anonymous source. And I thought you would be going that angle again, saying like, oh, well, that 13-year-old was probably very mature.
Age of consent should be maturity. It's not even 18 in most states. Why do you even believe that? It's because in Hollywood, it's 18, so that gets pushed everywhere. Most places, 16. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent is the age of maturity. It should be called the age of marriage. Age of consent implies that you're gonna have out of wedlock. I think it's better that people get married at 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs. I think that's better for society.
He's so pseudo-intellectual that he actually argues for things that defend pedophilia. That's fucking ridiculous. And when challenged on this, it's even worse. So there's an older clip now, it's quite a few months old, where XQC and Destiny actually challenge him on this right to his face, and holy shit, it's bad.
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told you.
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to fuck 9-year-olds. That's what Sneeko thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality. He's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to fucking that fucking corner in London where you're getting roasted by year 1 debaters on fucking Christianity. This is retarded. I don't know what the fuck you're doing in here.
Okay, so you can leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this word.
I don't want to leave the call. I like hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past, so.
Okay.
Okay, Sneeko, I'm actually curious now. What do you think the age of development is?
I just told you. It depends on where you are. It depends on the world.
Then at what stage do you think somebody is developed in it? What stage of development? Because there's a lot of stages of development.
It varies. I don't think
varies. It varies on what?
I think it varies on the age.
It varies on the age?
It depends on where you are.
You need to have set ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent,
You can hear him start to snivel in the background there as he's sucking up snot from his nose, getting cooked, and his brain is fucking overheating, malfunctioning, trying to formulate some kind of response to the easiest question in the world about what he thinks the age of consent should be. He keeps talking about the age of development and then can't even put a number on it. So everyone, please feel free to ask Sneeko what he thinks the age of consent should be if you want to see a human being fucking glitch out and malfunction like an Oblivion NPC. Can't answer the most basic question in the world. That is concerning. You realize how deranged that makes you look, Sneeko? That makes you look like an actual danger to society, that you don't agree with the age of consent and try and argue around it. That's what every pedophile ever that Chris Hansen talked to would do. Like, you're a fucking weirdo. So for you of all people, this fucking putrid vermin, this absolute slimy worm, to have the gall to say that I only care about the MrBeast collab, thus this whole story is just relegated to, you'd never use that word's too big for you. This whole story is just put on his second channel where no one's gonna see it because it's safer that way so he can keep the MrBeast collab alive. He's afraid, he's a coward for it. He has no problem abandoning his morals and defending blatant pedophilia, brushing it under the rug as long as it means it keeps the MrBeast collab alive. For you to make insinuations like that, and even claims like that, is fucking unhinged, considering you make actual pedophile defense arguments constantly, and you have publicly put on the clown makeup and worn white knight armor complete with the shield to defend Dr. Disrespect when he himself publicly admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately. It's fucking insanity. It makes me want to spit that I even have to talk about this, but it became such a huge, fiery issue on Twitter about me specifically that I felt the need to have to include this in this video, which should have been entirely focused on everything Ava Tyson has done and why it is so shitty. But now I've had to dedicate a sizable chunk to talking about these claims against me, about how I'm not going to talk about it and was not going to talk about it until pressure from Twitter forced me to, even though I had talked about it as it was developing and even mentioned on stream I was going to make a video on it. So to bring it all back to what should actually be the focus, the Ava Tyson situation and how horrible it is, I believe that it is an unforgivable thing that has been done. Talking to minors inappropriately is horrible. And having this kind of continued relationship with a minor where you're sharing edgy and inappropriate jokes back and forth and being in group chats and voice chats with children and saying gross things around them is so weird that it is not okay under any situation. It's disgusting behavior. And publicly supporting an artist who draws child porn and even owning art from that artist and talking about art like that and the revenge porn, all of it is very fucking bad. It's horrible. I'm not pulling any punches here on my feelings around it. So yes, I wanted to talk about this, and that's really about it. See ya. I really wasn't planning on weighing in too heavily on this whole MrBeast drama that's blowing up, calling him demonic for his newest video about curing 1,000 people's blindness, because I feel like the only people that are going super hard on this, you know, making a big hoot and holler, calling it demonic, are people who are terminally online, like a Twitter prisoner, their soul trapped on the platform, forced to tweet 50,000 tweets a year, and pretty much find every possible thing to be upset about. I'm still just not convinced there's any real, breathing, sentient people that actually have these thoughts outside of Twitter. I think Twitter, for some reason, acts as like this exorcism to bring out the dumb demon within everyone. It's extremely easy to go on Twitter and say the stupidest shit imaginable and never register how dumb it is. I don't know, that's just the Twitter brain rot in a nutshell. It's very easy to do things on there and feel like you're being productive, like you made a mean tweet or you complained about something, thus you're improving the world. Anyway, I'm already getting lost in the sauce here. I'll break down the situation. MrBeast made a video a couple days ago where he paid for people's life-changing surgery for restoring eyesight, giving them eyesight for the first time. It was a very big video. Performed extremely well, tons of views, but it also spawned tons of controversy, which isn't surprising at all. I'm sure everyone saw that coming. This wasn't a shocking revelation. It was about as surprising as learning that poop smells bad, because everything is controversial to someone, no matter what. And I know this has been said a million times now, but it is the truth. If MrBeast made a video talking about how he found the cure for cancer and is giving it away to, like, for free for everyone, forever, there would still be a large group of people online that would be comparing him to the Antichrist and saying he's only doing it as a selfish means and it's exploitative. Like, there is just, we've reached this point where everyone has to be mad about something, no matter how positive it is. It's pretty much a giant fucking parody of civilization at this point when it comes to how Twitter responds to shit. But anyway, he makes this video, he pays for all of these surgeries, and he gets blasted on Twitter for it by a large group of people. I'll just go ahead and bring up probably the biggest tweet that people were talking about. It's this one that talks about it being demonic and not being able to explain why, which is always such a beautiful argument. This thing sucks, but don't ask me why, because I can't explain it. It just does, because everything sucks to me. Fuck everyone and fuck everything. Everything's negative. It's a really great point that they're making here, but anyway, this led to a large discussion and people debating, is it even a good thing what he's done here? So let me weigh in here. You know, here comes MrBeast's unpaid PR guy coming out. I think it's a good thing. I think there's a lot of good arguments to be made about the state of medical treatment like this. How 1,000 people could have had life-changing surgery if they were just born wealthier, or if they were a bit luckier with their financials, if they just had a good spawn in life. They could have been able to afford this life-changing treatment and been able to see. But it's been paywalled, and they couldn't afford it. And the only way they were able to get it is because MrBeast wanted to make a video out of it. That's a very real problem. But it's a problem MrBeast didn't create. He's not the supervillain puppet master behind the scenes making these treatments unaffordable. This is so weird to target him. It seems very misguided instead of going after the actual issue at the core of all of this. The gift of sight shouldn't be something that you have to fucking be lucky enough to afford. Treating vision like some kind of DLC paywall package is so fucking awful. A lot of people criticize this because he made a video out of it saying, well, you could have just done this on your own, which you could have, and I always agree that that's a very fine thing to point out. I've always agreed that doing good deeds in private is far more genuine and authentic than doing good deeds for the sake of public brownie points or reputational benefits. A YouTuber making a video, giving homeless people money for 12 hours challenge. Impossible. It's like, oh, that's kind of fucking weird. But I've also always maintained the stance of, yeah, the motivation may have been selfish, but those people did get money that is no doubt going to be helpful for them. So it's a good deed done by a less than good person. And the thing with MrBeast is, he does do a lot of great shit for his community in private. So when he does do these public displays of doing good things, I never get the impression that it's inauthentic or coming from a place of trying to, you know, capitalize on the back of suffering or anything like that. Like, of course, you can obviously tell it grows his brand, so it is mutually beneficial. Him doing good deeds does also benefit him, maybe not financially, but in terms of like subscribers and all of that, it does help him. But both things can be true, that he could be genuinely wanting to help people while it also helping himself. But I feel like MrBeast, given his track record, has shown that he does these things to hopefully inspire others, and the money he makes from this content usually goes into other things that help other people, like MrBeast philanthropy, for example. So it's always fueling a greater good regardless. But something that is important to point out is that, yes, it does grow his brand. He benefits from this. Even if it's not financially, he obviously is going to take a huge net loss on this because of the price of these surgeries. His brand does grow from it. But I ask, is that a bad thing? For so long, people have called for positive role models to be the people that are successful and popular. And now you have someone like MrBeast, who is the biggest YouTuber, and almost all of his content is focused on improving other people's lives, whether it's directly through financial incentives, through MrBeast philanthropy, food kitchens, paying for 1,000 people's eyesight. Isn't that the exact kind of content you would want to be successful? Let's hop into the septic tank and play around in the shit takes for a moment. Let's say MrBeast is truly rotten to the core and everything he does is driven for selfish gain, of growing his brand and all of that. No matter how you spin it, 1,000 people in this video just had their lives improved for the better. And let's say other selfishly driven assholes watch this video and they see the amazing amount of views on it. Well, they might do the same thing. 1,000 more people get their blindness cured by another YouTuber who wants a ton of views. Also, real quick, MrBeast didn't find the cure for blindness. It's not like he was digging in his backyard, found buried treasure, and it was just like this fucking panacea to cure blindness or anything like that. He is paying for surgery that currently exists. Just wanted to quickly clear that up real quick, just in case anyone keeps seeing these headlines and are convinced that Dr. Beast came in here and found some kind of wild blindness cure. But anyway, it doesn't even matter what the motivation behind the videos or the act is, because no matter how you spin it, there's the immutable fact that 1,000 people just had their lives improved for the better. Even if MrBeast is the result of a fusion dance between Darth Vader and Doctor Doom, it wouldn't change the fact that 1,000 real people just experienced a very real improvement in their life as a result of them making that video. Which in my opinion is a good thing, and I feel like most people should feel the same way. There's plenty to be mad about with the core problem here, which is these people should have already had access to this treatment without MrBeast needing to make a video on it. That I completely agree with. But that doesn't make me mad at MrBeast for doing it. That makes me upset at the system that's currently in place enforcing that. That is the issue, not what MrBeast has done. And I'm so fucking tired of hearing this term poverty tourism tossed around when talking about MrBeast. It just shows such a gross misunderstanding of what that even means. To try and slap that label on what MrBeast does is so fucking off the mark. The worms in your brain must be suffering from parasites. Like, there is so much wrong in your noodle to possibly even think for a second this could be considered poverty tourism. You know what is poverty tourism, and something that a lot of YouTubers have done and is exploitative, is the people that go to, like, when Phidias went to the poorest country in the world, and it's just showcasing, oh, look at how poor they are, and treating everyone there like props for his own video. That's poverty tourism, and I will fully agree that there are cases of people trying to emulate MrBeast, like the example I just used, Phidias, and just completely missing the mark and ending up making a video where it's just, hey, look at all these poor people. Wow, they're so poor. Can you believe they're that poor? Maybe we should do something? Like, that's an issue. Yeah, that content sucks. I don't support that. Fucking nobody supports that. When Phidias posted that video, he got dunked on by everyone on the internet. It's not something people like. But what MrBeast does, I think, is very far removed from poverty tourism. Now, there is one very legitimate complaint directly at MrBeast that I will agree with, and it's the thumbnail. The thumbnail is weird. I definitely think this is one of MrBeast's weirdest thumbnails here. It's like alarming, almost. Like, there's like 1,000 words told in this single picture here, and none of them make any sense. So yeah, I think the thumbnail is very odd. But yeah, thumbnail aside, I think what he's done is a good thing, obviously. And I don't really know how you can even justify through mental gymnastics why it's bad and why you hate him for it. It just doesn't really compute with me. What you're actually mad about is an issue he had nothing to do with. Again, I don't think people should have to rely on a YouTuber looking to make a big video in order to get life-changing surgery. That is the issue. It's not so much the YouTuber that pays for that surgery. That I think is just, no matter how you spin it, a good thing for the person. I'm really tired of people speaking on others' behalf, getting offended for other people that they're not involved with and they don't know. I've seen a lot of people attribute feelings to the 1,000 people in these videos saying, man, they must feel so used and exploited. They must feel so violated that Jimmy used them here for a viral video. Well, I'm going to make a counterpoint. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know them? Huh? Was that you in the video? Your family member? Your friend? I doubt it. Highly doubt it. How are you going to speak for them? How are you going to be mad for them and try and tell everyone what they were likely experiencing? I would wager a guess they were experiencing a high level of happiness. I bet they were thrilled to have eyesight, would be my guess. So yeah, anyway, that's really my take on the whole situation. I think this drama is one of the sadder ones I've seen in quite some time, because I feel like this is just something most people should be celebrating. Like, hey, the biggest YouTuber is doing good things, as opposed to degenerate shit, like most people online. I think that's something to be happy about. There's 1,000 people whose lives have just been improved. I think that's a good thing. Like, I think that's a big thumbs up. There are issues you can talk about as a result of this, and there is a really good discussion to be had about, like, the actual core thing regarding the surgery and the cost of these kind of procedures. I think that's a good conversation to have. But I don't know why it comes back to MrBeast being a bad guy for paying for the surgery. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. That's about it. See ya.